All right, so here is the game plan for the course. We're going to start by taking a closer look at the actual security challenges we face. You'll see why quick fixes and just throwing more budget at the problem rarely work in the long run. Security is a complex issue, challenge, and we need to go deeper than surface level solutions. Next, I'll introduce you to two world-class frameworks, OWASP SAMM and NIST CSF in its version 2.0. These aren't just theoretical things and constructs, they offer practical and structured ways to approach security in a systematic way. And then we will get to the heart of this course, metrics. Specifically, how to use metrics effectively, not just measure things, but to gain visibility, improve communication, and drive meaningful progress. It's not about collecting numbers for the numbers' sake, it's about using the right ones to guide your security efforts and your goals. Before we start, let me briefly introduce myself. My name is Aram Hovsepyan. I come from an academic background. I have a PhD in application security where my research focused on privacy threat modeling. These days, I'm the CEO of Codific, a Belgian product firm. At Codific, we've built a platform called SAMM, which helps organizations simplify their security efforts by turning frameworks, which are essentially a set of best practices, into clear, measurable actions. And in my free time, or more accurately at night, I help fight cybercrime by serving on the OWASP SAMM core team. OWASP SAMM is a world-class framework for application security maturity. It's an open source, community-driven, and quickly becoming an industry standard. If any of this resonates with you, or you just want to connect, feel free to follow me on LinkedIn. I am happy to hear from fellow security enthusiasts. In addition to Codific, this course is also co-sponsored by the Data Protection Institute, which is the training subsidiary of Belgian cybersecurity powerhouse Torion. Torion is well known for their work in threat modeling. Data Protection Institute is supporting this SAMM metrics workshop because they share our commitment to the OWASP mission and believe in openly sharing expertise to help the community grow stronger. If you're looking to build your skills in security, it's definitely worth exploring the training programs DPI offers. Okay, let's dive into it. We will first focus on the problem. What makes security so challenging? Why do we have breaches still happening? Even if we do have pen testing, patching, training, compliance certifications in place, why do security problems keep coming back, even with the latest upgrades in the budgets? What are we essentially missing? Before we jump into the problem, let's take a quick moment to agree on what we are even talking about. Because let's be honest, terms like security, AppSec, CyberSec, InfoSec, they get thrown around a lot. And depending who you ask, you might have 5 different definitions. So let's clear the air with some quick and shared terminology. So what is security? The definition is actually pretty straightforward. At its core, it boils down to 3 things, often called the CIA triad. And no, not that CIA. First of all, confidentiality. Can the right people access the right data? And only the right people? Or is someone in a faraway country selling your production database on the dark web? Next, integrity. Can you trust your data hasn't been tampered with? Or is someone silently rewriting your production database while sipping coffee? And finally, availability. Is the system up and running when you need it? Can you access the data when you need it? Or are you staring at a loading screen wondering if it's you or the server that gave up first? Okay, let's clear the definitions for SDLC and SSDLC. SDLC stands for Software Development Lifecycle. It's the blueprint for how software gets made. It is a series of steps we follow when building software, from the first idea to design, development, testing, deployment, and eventually maintenance. Now, somewhere along the way, someone decided to slap the word secure in front of it and call it the Secure Software Development Lifecycle, or SSDLC. And look, I get it, but personally, I'm not a huge fan of the term. Security is a quality attribute, just like performance or reliability. So ideally, it should already be part of your regular SDLC, not something we bolt on after the fact and give a fancy new acronym. Are we going to give acronyms for fault-tolerant SDLC or modifiable SDLC? What if we have to have a secure, fault-tolerant, and modifiable SDLC? Anyway, SSDLC has become a somewhat industry informal lingo, so I might end up using it throughout the course. Now, you've probably heard people throw around terms like information security, cybersecurity, and application security, sometimes even used interchangeably. Sometimes they sound like three different departments fighting over the same budget. Let's start at the base, the SDLC, or SSDLC, whatever you call it. This is where ideas become code, code becomes features, features hopefully become products, and again, security is part of all of that. But here's the thing, the SDLC doesn't cover governance across teams. So it doesn't also handle much of the operations. That's where application security, or AppSec, comes in. So AppSec builds on top of SDLC. It adds governance, things like shared policies, secure coding standards, mandatory training, making sure everyone's playing by the same security rules. And it also adds operational practices like incident detection, incident response, data protection across applications, and so on. Next up, cybersecurity, which casts a wider net. CyberSec looks at the full spectrum. So it's not just about apps, it's also about your network, the endpoints, the infrastructure, identity management, threat intelligence, and the whole digital ecosystem. And finally, information security, or InfoSec, which is the umbrella term. It includes everything from cybersecurity and application security to physical assets, printed documents, and yes, even locking up the server room. Finally, the last term we will use throughout the content of this course is framework. What is a framework? Essentially, it's a structured set of best practices. But typically, it's not just a checklist. It comes often with a methodology or a way of managing and applying those best practices in a specific context. Think of a recipe. You get the list of ingredients, and then how to combine them would be the methodology. Throughout this course, I've added short quizzes at the end of each section, each topic. Don't worry, they are not here to stress you out. They are just a quick way to check that the concepts landed clearly. Think of them as mini mental pit stops, a chance to make sure you're really absorbing the good stuff before we move on.